Okay, we're ready. Good afternoon, everyone.
We're back.
We're back. You're listening to Kiss Sports here on Deep Ellum Radio.
.com.
I'm your host, Brandy Ureta.
And I'm John.
Hey, John.
What up? Happy birthday.
Thank you, bro.
Stinky.
I'm not stinky.
You are stinky.
I might smell like a pool from last night, but...
Smell like a pull in.
Alcohol. It was a fun night. It was a fun night.
Yeah,
we've been gone the last couple of weeks. We're sorry. We're really, really sorry. A couple of weeks ago, we knew we were going to be out, and then last week we had a death in the family. Our
dog Peppy passed away.
Our awesome dog Peppy passed away. She was a part of our sports world too.
Yeah.
She would always
watched all of our Super Bowls with us, World Series, NBA Finals.
Everything.
She was always with us.
She had Dallas Cowboy jerseys and all that. So we miss you, Peppy. We love you. Today is also another big day, besides my birthday. I know the world stopped.
Game 5?
Well, I was thinking Father's Day.
Oh,
but
Father's
you
Day,
can go there too. Today's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the dads, especially our wonderful
happy Father's Day, Dad. Happy Father's Day, Keith.
Juan.
And happy Father's Day, Pop.
Pop, Bubba, Keithy Boy.
Jimbo.
Everybody out there that's the dad. Dads are pretty awesome. Our dad was always there for us. Every football game, basketball game, practice, dance recital, everything.
All the time.
Dad's never been away from any of that. We're very blessed.
Yeah.
Very, very blessed. We eat lunch with him once a week, so we try to talk sports.
Yeah, we talk sports.
We talk sports.
He's always been contracts.
Yeah, don't talk contracts. But he's always been our sports guy too. So
yeah.
It always feels good to be able to relate everything in our family and stuff back to sports. It does play a very important role in all our lives. But yeah, today's my birthday. 22. Turned 22 today.
Oh, you're younger than me now.
Yep.
You're born 4 years. 4 years before me, but you're 2 years younger than me.
That's what I decided. I was
I'm 24, by the way.
No, you're not.
Oh, okay.
I said I'm 22. But, it's been fun. We had a really good time last night, enjoying it. I've been blessed to be a June baby and with that, my birthday finals games always seem to land around or on my birthday. So tonight we have Game 5 of the NBA Finals. It could be the last game of the NBA Finals.
Been swept. You probably.
If the Spurs hadn't lost Game 2, it could have been over.
Which they had a chance. They had the lead in the last 2 minutes.
Chris Bosh came through clutch at the end and
hit a 3.
But so today is Game 5. Usually I celebrate at a sports bar and stuff like this. We're going to sit at home and eat brats and enjoy the game tonight.
Be dorks.
Be dorky. But it's going to be fun. Let's get to talking about these finals. We hadn't even announced, we hadn't had a show since we've known who the two teams were even going to be. So we have a rematch of last year in the NBA Finals. The Heat, Spurs.
Sucks again.
But
we were stuck with this. I wanted it to be Pacers, Clippers.
Oh yeah.
That didn't
well, we knew that I knew in the Eastern Conference it wasn't going to be anybody but the Heat. That was just kind of a given.
The Pacers played as good as they did at the beginning of the season. They had a chance, but they
we know that
stretch just like how they did at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. They played like crap.
Yeah, but I mean, they still took the Heat to 6 games.
Right.
Even as crappy as they were.
Well, and we've said this before. It's like this: the Heat and Spurs. The Spurs are the hardest team the Heat have had to face this entire playoffs.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's, it is.
It's usually the case in the finals.
Well, but the Heat are probably the easiest team the Spurs have had to face in their playoffs.
That's the easiest.
Well,
the Mavericks gave them a tough. Portland was probably
maybe easier,
the easiest team.
But still.
Yeah, and they were a 50-win team.
Right. So, there you go. That's what my theory is, or that's how I look at this finals.
Spurs had a way tougher road. They had to beat
the Mavericks,
3 contenders.
Mm-hmm. The Mavericks,
the
Oklahoma.
The Heat played Charlotte,
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn
and Indy
and the Pacers. Mavericks could have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals easy.
Yeah.
And if they were in the East, they would have probably been in the top 3 seeds.
Right. It's just interesting to see how the different conferences line up. But it is what it is. We have them. We're enjoying them. Some of them have been kind of interesting. Game 1. Game 1 gives you a storyline like no other. Air conditioner.
Was that the cramp game?
Oh, this was a cramp game. The cramps heard round the world.
His menstrual cramps.
It wasn't. That's nasty. The cramps heard round the world.
I feel you, girl.
I feel you. I feel you, girl. Meme. But this is the cramps heard round the world. The AC unit heard round the world. You know that.
Conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy. Anyways, game 1, NBA Finals, couple of Thursdays ago. Last Thursday.
Yeah.
The AC went out at I forget what the name of their arena is down there in San Antonio. The arena it was 90 degrees courtside. That's hot. And I'm sure in San Antonio it gets hot, muggy hot. It's not.
But if you're indoors,
90 degrees is 90 degrees no matter where you're at.
Yeah, 90
It's
degrees.
hot.
It's hot, but it ain't.
And if you're running through a court and it's crowded people, say there's 30,000, 40,000 people, you're all body heat. It's not fun. I do feel sorry for those guys. Well,
it's like hooping at the rec. Stop crying.
That's no fun either.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. What was it? The AC went out. The Spurs won 110-95, but when that AC went out, LeBron got the cramps.
LeBron, they were only down by like 2 points when LeBron went out, or they were down by like 1, and then the Spurs just finished him off whenever he left.
While he was getting treatment, the Spurs had a 15-4 run and came back, got a basket that put them within 2, but with 4 minutes he was out. So he was getting treatment, and the Spurs went on a 15-4 run. Then he came back and shooting, and then he got a basket, put him within 2, but then he couldn't play anymore. So that just shows about how important he is to the.
He's the best.
He's the only player basically
anymore on that team. Well, it's him and Chris Bosh. It's not him and Dwayne Wade.
Well, in this game,
Wade the game 4 was horrible.
Well,
I got to watch it 3 hours after it happened.
Well, in this game 1, James had 32 minutes, 25 points. And that's with him being out those last 4 minutes and then probably another minute or so. So probably out 5 or so minutes.
LeBron didn't even score in the fourth quarter on game 4.
Mm-mm. Bosh had 33 minutes, 18 points. Wade put up 19. But it's over here when you look at the Spurs. It's pretty awesome.
They're so balanced.
They're so balanced. Duncan, 21, Ginobili, 16, Parker, 19, and Green, who's really stepped it up, had 13.
Kawhi Leonard's he's been killing it the last 2 games. He had like 20, 14, and like 4 steals.
4 steals.
He's on LeBron the whole time.
Green had a 3-pointer after LeBron left, and it sparked a 16-3 run to end the game.
Yeah.
Green, it was really good. It was fun. We were talking about the Heat, and, they're back in it. They're the first team since the 84 to 87 Celtics to go to 4 straight finals.
And they're only going to win 2? Ha!
Ha! Well, whatever.
The Texas teams are going to be the teams to knock them out.
Right.
So that makes me feel good.
James, though, in Game 1, he joined MJ and Kobe as the only players with 4,000 points and 1,000 assists in the postseason.
Yeah.
And Ray Allen moved past Kobe Bryant and Derek Fisher into second with 49 threes in the finals.
Tim Duncan, he broke the all-time minutes played record in the playoffs past Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And it was like 30-something thousand minutes, or I don't know. He's played like 3 full seasons worth of postseasons.
Right.
Yeah.
No, in just finals.
No, postseasons.
Postseasons?
Yeah.
Crap, that's crazy.
Finals, they've been to, this is their 6th final.
Wow.
They won, 4. They won 4, lost 1, and then back again.
Well, it is. It's been interesting. There's been a lot of like different little history things made just because these teams have been to the finals so much within the last, 10 years. Both of them combined. Couldn't even imagine how many. Well, no, five times. And I can't think of all the times the Spurs have went, but
Spurs have gone to the playoffs every time.
Right. Third quarter, the Spurs had 9 turnovers and 20 points. Miami led. On those 9 turnovers, Miami got 20 points and led 78-74. I mean, it was a pretty close game there for a while, but then, there's a really funny Twitter account called the Spurs AC.
The Spurs AC.
And it's like this, talking like they're the AC unit in the Spurs, and he was like, I tried to get into the Miami game, but they wouldn't let me in.
Oh.
Try to get into the Staple or whatever their American Airlines Arena. Anyways, game 2 was a close one. Now every time that the Spurs have won,
I think I watched it.
Well, yeah, we watched it together at the house. The very end of it, Heat won 98-96. This is when Chris Bosh kind of came through clutch at the end
with the 3 in the corner, but I don't really remember watching it.
We turned it on at the end. Y'all watched that movie at Mom's.
What movie?
RoboCop.
Oh, the new RoboCop.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
The Heat shot 52.9%. The Spurs 43.9%. They were held a little lower than their average over in this series is like at 54. So that was pretty low for.
Yeah, every other game has been at like 56.
Well, at game 1 it was 58.8. So they were held to, as I said, 43.9. They had 11 turnovers. The Heat only had 13. And I always heard turnovers make a huge difference in basketball games. But in all these, you look at the turnover ratio, and I guess maybe if it was a closer game, they would have
more turnovers than they do assists in the series. They have like 10 more turnovers.
Because it's everybody for themselves or something. The Spurs have gotten this whole passing thing down to a science this season.
Oh, they always have that. But the Heat are just. It's one-on-one the whole time. If you watch it, it's either LeBron going one-on-one, which he can win, Bosh going one-on-one, or he'll drive and then kick out, or D-Wade going one-on-one. Then they don't have anybody else.
Right.
The team is garbage outside, and I hope they get Carmelo. Then they'll be even worse.
Carmelo.
Oh my God! I saw something the other day about Carmelo coming to Mavs and. Dirk saying he'd love to have him. Like, no.
We
don't want him.
Everybody's saying Carmelo to the Mavericks.
No. Do not want to waste max money on him.
I would like that.
Why would you?
Because I've liked Carmelo since he was at Syracuse.
That doesn't mean anything, though. If you want to win, you don't use.
Well, he's gonna. Maybe he should stay in New York. He'll have a new coach. Derek Fisher is now the Knicks head coach.
He'll get that rookie head coach experience.
Hey, Jason Kidd did pretty good at it this year.
Yeah, because he had a stacked team.
Well, and the thing is, I feel this way about Derek Fisher. He's older, but he's like the head of the players. Well, he was head of the players union.
They kicked his ass to the curb whenever the NBAPA.
Yeah, it's Players Association. Anyways, but let's go back. I'm picking my nose online. I'm sorry. The Heat won 13 straight following a loss in the postseason. So they lose, and then they win. The Falcons did that for a long time. They'd always win after a loss, and then last year ruined all that. Anyways, so who was else? Always never lost. Anyways, James in this game, he by himself erased a 62-56 deficit by scoring 8 points in less than a minute in the third and put him up 78-77 going into the fourth. That dude, he has to solo win these games. Everything. He can't, and the thing is, that's not what you're supposed to do. He can't win them all. Sometimes you're gonna be stuck in.
Wade is not being Pippen right now.
No.
He's being Pippi.
Pippi?
Pippi Longstocking, not Pippen.
Yeah, well,
He's just not. He doesn't have any help. LeBron James has to do everything. D-Wade can't get back. He's not helping on defense. Game 4, he looked old as.
Yeah,
balls.
it's just crazy. Spurs opened this game with an 11-point lead until James got hot. And James had 3 straight baskets and shot later, giving the Heat their first lead with in the first or second quarter, 34-33. So it took them a while. They made 10 of their first 15 shots. Parker in this game with 1,026 assists in the postseason. He passed Michael Jordan, who had 1,022 for 8th on the all-time list. He also passed Scottie Pippen for 13th on the career scoring list with 3,655. So there's lots of different passings on lists that these guys are doing in this season.
Yeah, there's been Tim Duncan last game he took 2 records, minutes played and something else. It happened like 20 minutes later.
Well,
I was watching.
Well, get off your phone.
I'm looking up MLB stuff.
Oh,
Shut
okay. Game 3.
Because we're running out. We got a lot of time left and we're almost done.
We're at 16 minutes. Game 3, San Antonio won 111-92, and they went up 2-1. They shot 59.4% to the Heat's 51.6%. Duncan only had 14, Ginobili had 11, Parker 15, Green 15. But who came out in this game was Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi Leonard. I always thought they called him Kawhi.
No,
Kawhi.
nobody has called him Kawhi.
He scored 29 points. He made his first 6 shots and he went 10 of 13. He was on fire. Is he young?
He's younger than me. He's 22 or 23.
And on a team with so many veterans, it's so good to see a young guy.
And that's how you're supposed to. That's how any team is supposed to work. You have your veterans and then you bring your young guys to them. You don't just stick them out there when they're not ready.
I think they've trained him just right. I mean, he had 39 minutes. On the Heat side, though, they went James 22, Bosch 9, Wade 22, Allen 11. Bosch only shot 4 shots in that game.
Did you make any of them?
Well,
he had 7 points or something.
It was 9 points is what it says. This Leonard guy, though, he had only scored 18 points in the first 2 games together. So.
Yeah, and then game 4, I think he actually had he made a few shots.
We're almost to game 4. We'll talk about that in a second.
Game 4 is the only game I actually remember.
Spurs. Okay, well then we'll go there here in a second. The Spurs in the first half shot 75.8%. It's like 0.01 less than Orlando shot against the Lakers in 2010 for the highest percentage in a half. That's hell of a good percentage.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically warm-ups.
3 out of 4 shots.
That means no defense was being played by the Heat.
And see, that's the thing. The Heat's defense was the mainstay the first 2 years. Whenever the Mavericks didn't score 110 points a game to win that series.
Nope.
The Mavericks just played better defense than them. So.
Well, they made the Spurs made 19 of their first 21 shots. Shot 13 of 15 and led 41-25 after the first quarter. Second quarter, then they hit 6 straight shots, going up 55-30. The Heat at home were 8-0 in a postseason and had 11 in a row since getting beat by the Spurs last year. They had won 8 in a row in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
8-0 in the postseason at home, and then had won 11 since being beat by them. So it was crazy that they lost at home the way they did.
Yeah.
Getting blown out. Sorry.
Blown out? Yeah, add that extra.
The Heat went 4 for 4, and James had 14 of the first 20 points for the Heat. That's not fair to him. Oh, I just sit here. Because, I'm sorry, people, and I posted this on Facebook, I said, LeBron haters are so much more annoying than LeBron fans. Because they hate.
They're more annoying.
They can't even.
Fans.
Shut up. But they find just stupid things to pick at for why they hate LeBron.
I hated him for the longest time.
But you recognize that he's a great player. Well, they're like, he's weak. He's this, dude. Eventually, you can't.
You can't you can't talk crap about him without talking about Kevin Durant. He's the same. He's worse.
Right.
He always cries about everything. LeBron takes some hits. He's just so big that he doesn't get smacked around like Kevin Durant does.
Right. It's just different. But, I mean, like, as I said, he should have taken this shot. He should have done this. Well, you know what? If his players around him might have been playing a little better, then he wouldn't have to worry about being the one that have to go to all the time. Anyways, the Spurs led 71-50 at the halftime. First 70-point half in a finals game since the Lakers scored 75 against Boston, Game 2 of the 1987 NBA Finals. So we haven't had a 70-point half in over almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm 27 years.
They played their backups for the last 6 minutes.
It was cut from 17 points to 7 points in the third quarter by Norris. Closest that the Heat would come to the Spurs. Norris Cole. He helped cut it. This was Dwayne Wade's 150th postseason games. He passed Dirk, who sits at 3,455 points for 17th on the all-time postseason scoring list. He 68-20 postseason at-home record, .782 win percentage. Lakers are the highest with .792. Interesting. Game 4.
Game 4. This is the game I remember.
This game, Spurs won 107-86. That's 21 points, guys.
Whooped that ass.
Whooped it. They shot 57.1%. The Heat were held to 45.1%. The Heat had never lost. Well, as I said, they haven't lost back-to-back.
They hadn't lost at home the whole postseason.
Yeah, and then they've always, if they've lost in the postseason, they've always came back to win it since dropping 3 to Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2012.
They hadn't lost at home this whole postseason. And then they've gotten blown out the last 2 games.
As I said, they hadn't even lost back-to-back playoff games since 2012.
Games. They were 46 games. They were 3 behind the Bulls record.
Right.
Or the Celtics.
And this game, I mean, it wasn't just we look at the Spurs, they were very balanced. Duncan had 10 points, Parker 19.
Highest score was 20. Leonard.
Yeah, Leonard had 20 and Ginobili had 7. The Heat, you look at him again. LeBron, 28 points. Bosh, 12. Wade, 10. And Allen, 8. James is doing what he needs to do. I don't know what else he can do. Get a new coach?
What's yours, 37 and 28? Is that minutes?
Yeah.
Oh.
37 minutes for 28 points.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Bosh, 12.
Maybe
Wade, 1 of 10.
Yeah, he went 1 of 10. But, I mean, it's just not. Heat would have to make the biggest comeback in finals history down to 3-1. It's never happened.
31-0.
It's happened in hockey.
It always.
It's happened in baseball.
Not in the World Series.
Not in the World Series.
It's only ever happened once.
And I think in all of
baseball,
in our professional
sports history.
Yeah, I mean you can't do that in football.
Yeah.
But it's pretty.
Football.
Yeah. But it's very interesting. I mean, I don't see the Heat coming back and winning the next,
Well,
3.
LeBron said yesterday, history's made to be broken.
Well, he's going to have to play the next...
He's going to have to average 40 a game. He's going to have to...
He'll die after this finals.
Durant. He's going to have to just shoot his way because his team sucks.
I feel bad
Everybody
for him.
outside.
That's not fair to him. And it's not saying that
Ray Allen's not he's definitely not the same guy. He barely even played the last game.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't play any defense.
It's just crazy. Spurs are hitting 54% in this series and have held Miami to 35% in the first half of Game 4. They led 55-33 in the second quarter. Under Popovich, Spurs have won 15 of 18 in best of 7, went up 2-1. That's kind of interesting.
And now they're up 3-1.
Now
they're never lost.
Right. Fans.
They're 11-0.
And the fans are feeling it too down there. The fans booed the Heat.
Yes, they when they started to make a tiny little comeback, they started cheering them, and then
And they said with about 5 minutes remaining in the game, they started clearing the arena.
They're the fakest fans out there.
And then the Spurs, I guess there were Spurs fans throughout there, and they said you could hear the chants on TV, "Go Spurs, go."
I didn't.
You know, they come.
Yeah.
They travel. He followed the last 13 postseason losses with the win, as I said earlier, and they didn't do it that time. We'll see what happens. They went back. Before, it was always 2-3-2, so
that's when the Mavericks got hosed.
that was in the 2006 finals. But
Yep.
now they're doing 2-2-1-1-1.
It's not fair to give a team 3 straight home games.
No.
I've never understood that. It was a travel thing back in the day, but travel hasn't been an issue in 30 years.
Right.
So why have they just now gone back to that?
I mean, but when you did playoff,
Because if you lose one game at home, you could lose the series on the road.
I get it kind of.
It's not fair.
I kind of get it
if you're
for
the number 1 seed.
For basketball because of like the East, how it's conferenced out, how it's structured. But even when you look at the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, the travel time from Sacramento to San Antonio is a lot further than any other team in the East would even think of traveling. They're more spread out in the West. The East, all their teams are closer.
In the West.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the East, their teams are all really close.
Toronto and Miami isn't.
Yeah, that's far, but I don't think
but
it's.
Toronto's never in the playoffs
So
except for this year. So I mean, and it was just to Brooklyn.
Right.
And no matter what, it's never going to be like more than what 6-7 hour flight at the most.
The 3 teams that are like the close. Well,
the farthest teams. How far would it be? New York to LA. That'd be the farthest. Travel. And that can't be more than 8 hours by plane. I can't picture
No,
it being.
Boston to L.A.
New York's further away than L.A. or Boston.
No, it's north. It's north of Boston.
Whatever.
I know my geography. I passed that class.
What about New Hampshire, Maine?
Maine is the highest.
Maine to Los Angeles.
That's high, but there's not a team in Maine.
Yeah.
But you know.
No reason.
But as we said, like it does make a difference where we've, so it's glad to hear that these series have been changed to that. Well, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with media markets and stuff like that, getting the stuff to go over here and back and forth and back and forth. You don't want to do all that. I say just have one set up in each city and then you just travel with it if you need it or not. But it is what it is.
That's what they do.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I'm saying, well, I was thinking
ESPN and ABC has stuff set up.
Well, in San Antonio, and they have stuff set up in Miami, getting ready to go, whatever. But I'm sure, like, not every market could have a thing set up here and a thing set up there, so they have to move all their stuff, too. Sorry, guys. Try not to cuss online.
We have no...
filter.
No ceilings.
No ceilings. Ooh. But, it's been interesting. We got it, though. I mean, it's been a better series than I kind of thought it might be.
As long as they don't.
It's been a good storyline. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And that's all I want is good.
Hopefully Tim Duncan leaves.
Tim Duncan leaves after this. This was my theory. Game. This was my theory the whole time. When people ask me who do you want to win, I was like, I'm not a Mavericks fan, quote unquote, but I said if you were a Mavericks fan, I would root for the Spurs. And I don't believe in this whole rooting for the same team because they're in Texas, blah 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 blah. Because I don't live by that theory. But as I said, if you're a Mavericks fan, I would root for the Spurs. And my only reason is I think Tim Duncan will retire if he wins this championship.
Need him to retire, need Ginobili to retire.
Well,
we'll be fine.
But
Ginobili's getting old, he might retire.
But I mean, if Popovich keeps coaching like he's coaching and you have guys like Leonard coming up and all that scoring these points,
yeah,
they're just going to rotate him through.
But he doesn't scare us like Tim Duncan's done.
Well, I know. But still, you just don't know when he's that young what he might be able to accomplish. It's really interesting. But, so this was our NBA Finals show.
NBA Finals
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Over by next week.
I don't know what I'm going to do next week. You're not going to be here.
Yep, I'm going to be
South
Dakota, Iowa, and Montana.
Iowa. But I don't know if I'm going to have to go all Colin Cowherd and talk by myself. But whatever. thank y'all for joining us. Thank you for having us back. I'm your host, Brandy Oretta.
And I'm John.
Happy
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Happy birthday to me. You're listening to Kiss Sports here on DeepLMRadio.com. Have a great day.
Okay.
Woo!
Show it right quick.
Yeah, that was 30 minutes, right? Yeah.